a three-row SUV at the height of luxury and performance. It's an icon of the industry, and I am talking about no other than this 2024 Cadillac Escalade Sport Platinum. With all the new competition and the release of the 2025 Escalade, is this still the king of luxury SUVs? Let's go ahead and find out. Let's begin with the pricing and trim level. We have the second most expensive Escalade on the market today, known as the Sport Platinum. This one starts at $115,000, which is already expensive on its own, but we have quite a few options today, raising that to $122,000. Does the Escalade have enough for your hard-earned money? Let's go ahead and jump right into this video. The Escalade style is large and in charge. You get this big blacked out grille with the monochrome Cadillac crest and some functional vents at the bottom. And for $122,000, I expect some really high quality headlights, so take a look at these animations Cadillac has made. The rest of the headlights are very fitting for the flagship Cadillac SUV. You get a waterfall style daytime running light, a projector style LED headlamp, and the turn signal is integrated with the daytime running lights. No fog lights are included at the bottom. Moving to the wheels, you get two different options on the Sport Platinum trim. This one comes with the Onyx package, so it's going to be a gloss black 22-inch alloy wheel that I think looks quite good on the side of the Escalade. Moving on to the side profile, you're going to find multiple gloss black elements from the Onyx package, like this molding down here, accents to the mirror caps, and these accents to the window trim. There are power running boards down below, and electronic door handles. The mirrors will be fully loaded with heating, blind spot monitoring, auto dimming, and power folding. That is something to be expected on the flagship Cadillac. There is nothing boring about this rear design because you have two functional exhaust ports, a blacked out Escalade logo, and a bumper protector. Cadillac has stuck with the iconic taillight design because, as you can see, they are very tall. They will also be fully LED with an LED brake light, an LED reverse light, and an LED turn signal. And just like the headlights, the taillights also have some beautiful animations, so let's take a look. Now let's take a look at the interior and see how luxurious this Cadillac Escalade is. The Cadillac Escalade has always had a reputation for quality, especially on the inside, so let's take a look at the interior of this one. Starting on the door panel, you'll get leather up top, glossy wood trim on the center. You'll get more leather on your armrests with piping and white contrast stitching, and hard plastic down below. Power running boards are optional, but illuminated door sills are standard on every Escalade. These seats are super comfortable to sit in because they are made of semi-aniline leather with square quilting through the center, white piping and contrast stitching, speakers in the headrest, and 16 ways of power adjusting with massage. It really is a step up to get into the Escalade, but it sure is worth it because take a look at this beautiful cabin. This steering wheel will be made of this really supple leather, and you even get leather on your horn button, which is rare. This steering wheel is heated, and you even have this button right here to enhance your voice so that third row passengers can hear what you're saying. Also, there is a light up here because that means that you have Super Cruise. As far as the gauge cluster is concerned, it is part of this massive 36-inch curved OLED display. It is very customizable. Right now you are seeing the traditional gauge cluster, but you can also choose between a map, an augmented reality camera, and night vision, but night vision is not equipped on today's model. The augmented reality camera will show what is directly in front of you, and it will even put an arrow down on the road if you are using navigation. I think this is super cool, and Cadillac really innovated with this gauge cluster design. Take a look at these gorgeous materials in this Cadillac Escalade. It's mainly wood and leather, but I think that is plenty to fill up this gorgeous cabin. You get a lot of wood under the screen and through the center area. There's more leather on your armrest, and you even get piping, stitching, and they went the extra mile to write Escalade in the chrome. The part that won't be returning for 2025 is this plastic through this area. This is kind of a softer plastic, but these buttons are straight out of a base Chevy. Even the shifter can be found in something like a Chevy Bolt. Thankfully, this is not returning for the 2025 refresh. As far as storage is concerned, you'll find a cubby on both sides of the center console, and you'll also get a wireless phone charger in case you need to charge your phone. This is not, however, the best solution because crumbs can get stuck in here and it's really hard to clean out. And you can drop a lot of things down there like the key fob, and you'll have to find some interesting way to fish it out of there. Under this wood trim piece, you'll find a little storage area, 2 cup holders, and 2 USB ports. In the center console, you already know that this is not something normal. Cadillac went ahead and put a cool box in here, and it's even illuminated. Everything else is in felt, and you can even control it right here. There are 2 more USBs in case you need them. This is going to compromise room just a little bit, but I still think it is an excellent trade-off. If you don't like this, you don't have to option it on. This is just an option, just keep that in mind. These climate toggles have a very high quality feel to them. Just take a listen to that. You're just going to have to see it in person because it is truly on a whole nother level. This is tri-zone on every Escalade model, so you can't get a 4th zone. It's dual zone up front and 1 zone in the back. I'm pretty sure they are going to fix that for 2025. You get heated and ventilated seats up front, which are located over on the door panel, and it's really nice how you can control the heated seats for just the back and the heated seats for the bottom and the back. But the other thing that's very noticeable in the Escalade, besides the gorgeous materials, is this curved 36-inch OLED display. It is broken up into different sections, as you can see right here. And it's really interesting how they put leather and stitching on the top of all of it. But it's time to talk about the main infotainment system. This works very well, and it's rarely ever buggy. This has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And you can do multiple things, like control the rear media right here, or it can also control the ambient lighting or the Wi-Fi hotspot. There is built-in navigation, and you can also answer phone calls or play music. Speaking of music, this Escalade has a 36-speaker AKG sound system. They basically put speakers anywhere they could get. Now, the crazier part is that for the 2025 refresh, it's going to have 4 more, so that's going to bring the total to 40. I don't even know how anybody could find room in a whole car to put 40 speakers, but the Escalade is big enough for it. The one drawback of the system, however, is that when you are using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, it's only going to take up a small square of the screen because of the way it's shaped. So that is one thing to keep in mind if you normally use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. However, if you really don't want to see that all the time, the built-in navigation is great, and you can also find different ways to play music without using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. If you look up top here, you'll see controls for your panoramic sunroof and your tailgate, but you can also control the 3rd row. This is an extremely clever feature shared with the Tahoe and Yukon. You can raise and lower the 3rd row from here, so you don't have to go all the way over to the trunk if you forgot to put it up if somebody is coming, for example. Let's talk about the backup camera really quick. You can access the camera right here, but when you put it in reverse, you're going to see a pretty normal backup camera. This has very good resolution, and you can choose from a number of different views. You can see what's directly underneath you, and you can also see a side view. And then also, when you put it in drive, you get a front view with all of the other options. But let's take a minute to talk about the parking sensors, because this is a great part about the Escalade. It is actually going to vibrate with your seat when you get close to an object. And if it's a human, like it thinks my tripod is a human, it's going to actually flash a different symbol right there. And it will show me in the gauge cluster that something is there. And if I get close enough, it's going to slam on the brakes for me. So that was the car slamming on the brakes for me. And it is getting very mad at me, vibrating my seat like crazy because it thinks I'm too close to the tripod. So I think this is great because Cadillac knows this is a big car and you can't always see every angle. Let's take a deeper dive into the passenger side and see what Cadillac has to offer. These seats are really fancy. You get square quilting, speakers in your headrest, piping, stitching, heating, ventilation, 18-way power adjusting, and massage. The beautiful dash laid out in front of you has leather, stitching, and glossy wood trim. The vents are hidden very well. The cubby down to the left here has a power outlet and felt lining so nothing will get scratched. And the glove box is massive for this massive SUV. It too has felt lining. Take a look at all of the adjustments you can make to these 18-way power adjustable seats. There are different sections of the seat back that you can adjust, and the bolsters are also adjustable. All of this can be done with the turn of the dial on the side of the seats. It is really nice how all of that pops up right here, and you can even control it with the screen, but that is not demonstrated in this clip. But the rear seats are what's really important in a large family SUV like this. The door panels will definitely be bringing plenty of attention. There's glossy wood trim, 2 metal speaker grills, plenty of aluminum accents, and leather. These seats are unbelievably comfortable. They have piping, square quilting, white contrast stitching, and for 2025, they are going to add speakers in the headrest on every Escalade. The center console area here doesn't really have that much going on. It's wrapped completely in leather. There's a third zone of climate control, heated seats, and 2 cup holders. At the bottom, there will be 2 HDMI ports and a USB-C port. The HDMI is for this rear entertainment system right here. You have YouTube, Hulu, and YouTube Kids. Those are built into the screen, but you can use the HDMI port so that you can watch whatever you want. Everything will go to these headphones right here. Cadillac has even upped the quality with these too, because they feel a lot more expensive than the Yukon and Tahoes. If you don't think this is enough, be sure to wait for the 2025 Cadillac Escalade. They're going to be adding something for $7,500 known as the Executive Second Row Seating Package. That will add 6-way power adjustable second row seats with heating, ventilation, and massage. Additionally, there will be fold-out tables for each passenger. There will be a center console in the middle with a screen to control everything like the climate control. Storage will be improved with a large center console, and you'll also get a center pass-through. The Escalade is a 3-row SUV, and of course, we cannot forget about the third row. To get into the third row, there is a button right here that you can push twice. Pushing it once will fold down the seats, but if you push it again, it's going to raise it up so that you can easily get into the third row. Once in the third row, there is a lot to talk about. There is plenty of legroom because, as you can see, this seat is slid all the way back and I still have plenty of legroom. The armrest is in plastic, but that is going to change for 2025. You get a USB-C port, a cup holder, and a storage cubby on each side, and the seats will be made of the same quilted leather. Cadillac is really rocking the third row of the Escalade. Now it's time to check out how much space is in the trunk of the Cadillac Escalade. Because this is one of GM's SUVs, you can independently open the rear window just to grab something quickly. There is a button to open it on the key fob and on the tailgate itself. But let's check out how much space the Escalade has. Behind the third row, there is 25.5 cubic feet of trunk space, which is great because while most SUVs lose space for going luxury, Cadillac does not, as those figures line up directly with the Tahoe and Yukon. Off to the right is going to be a little hook for your cargo cover and controls to fold down the seats. When you fold down the third row, you're going to get 72.9 cubic feet of trunk space, which is also the same as the Tahoe and Yukon. When you fold down the second row, that's going to be 121 cubic feet. And the nice thing is that you can fold down the second row and fold it upward so that people getting in can get into the third row. And look at all of that space, 121 cubic feet of space as a maximum. Now some of you might be worried that the second row seats will hit the screen on their way down, but Cadillac has designed against that. When you pull the lever, the seat will actually scooch back and the headrest will fold before hitting the screen. Great job, Cadillac. Now let's see what's powering this big beast of an SUV. Cadillac has stuck with the iconic 6.2-liter naturally aspirated V8. That produces 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. All of that is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and as you would expect, fuel economy is not the best at 14 in the city, 19 on the highway, and 16 combined. It's great to see that GM is sticking to their tried and true V8 because a lot of the Escalade's competition, such as the Lincoln Navigator and Infiniti QX80, are going away from the V8. Both of those have switched them out for turbo inline 6-cylinders, which is honestly not the way to go. As you would expect, having such a high status in the auto industry will bring lots of competition, and that is definitely the case for the Cadillac Escalade. Some of the competitors include the Lincoln Navigator, Mercedes GLS, BMW X7, Infiniti QX80, Lexus LX, and the Jeep Grand Wagoneer. The 2025 Escalade with the executive second row package will bring new competitors like the Bentley Bentayga Mulliner, Rolls-Royce Cullinan, and the Mercedes Maybach GLS 600. The Escalade is 212 inches long and 81 inches wide. Well, that is going to wrap up today's review on the 2024 Cadillac Escalade Sport Platinum. This is a truly beautiful SUV ready to take on all the competition. If you take a closer look into this car, you will see that this is no ordinary SUV, and it hides the true beauty and extravagance so well. If you are in the market for one, be sure to check one out as soon as you can. And if you want to see what Cadillac does for 2025, be sure to wait for that as well. I'm sure you will not be disappointed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.